Welcome back, fuckers, to the Mateo Peace Experience. I'm your boy, back outside as usual. And I saw a quote that I wanted to kind of talk about. And it was basically saying how you could measure the tides, know what time the sun rises, know all these facts about animals and life. But all that knowledge, it doesn't translate into oneself. You can know when these things rise, you can know the measure of things, but you cannot measure the orbit of one's own soul. And I thought about that for a while. Like, that doesn't feel right to me. I don't really think that's correct. Now, I think what the author's alluding to is that way deep down, as you try and find out these parts of yourself, you find out what you think is a whole is actually an onion. And there's just fucking layers and layers and layers you gotta scrape through to find the center. And even in the center, there's a few fucking layers to find out the absolute center. I think the author's alluding to that. And I genuinely, as of right now, maybe I'm just a hopeful motherfucker, I don't think the author has known or tried himself hard enough to fully understand himself. I think we as men, what do I say whenever I say, like, hey, get a brother in your life. They're fucking awesome. They're always there for you. You know, when I say some shit like that, I preach about brotherhood fucking often as well. And what I always say is that you can't know the object of a man's character, of their soul, unless you put them through tough fucking circumstances. If it's just a hard session at the gym, it's a good simulation that works. That's why a lot of gym bros are pretty fucking close. But what I'm really speaking about is like military training. When soldiers are in a foreign country, like I'm saying the US, like when we're in Iraq, the soldiers there, they're not fighting for like whatever idea we set ourselves out there for. When you're in the trenches, when you're in these urban environments waging war, you're not fighting because politicians told you so, or back in the day because you wanted money, or anything like that. You learn to fight for the men to your left and the men to your right, because those have become your brothers. You have worked so fucking hard through boot camp. Part of what boot camp does, it makes you suffer as a group. Like, you bond so fucking tightly with one another. You don't want to see each other die. You want to make sure everybody goes home to their family. You begin to fight. And that's what soldiers say. They fight for the men in their trench with them. Usually, soldiers don't even really associate themselves so often with like the larger like battalions and groups. They do somewhat. But with the whole armies, not really. It's more of they associate with the smaller groups and for their like tribe and their pack. Now, what does this have to mean with knowledge of oneself? I'm 100% sure you cannot find the object of yourself looking through some fucking textbooks. 100% you cannot. You can learn things from textbooks and then use it in the field. But knowing oneself is 100% field-oriented. It's field-oriented, but you also do gotta probably have to write to yourself in a journal. Like, hey, what I do better, what can I do better, what can I do better, what can I do better, let's learn. And it's probably a lifelong experience that a lot of people won't have. Now, I also think a lot of people won't reach it because they're not willing to put themselves through the right situations. How can you know yourself if you're not facing life or death? How can you learn yourself if you're not super fucking hungry at one point in your life? How can you know yourself if you're not fighting for survival? How can you know yourself if you react and if you're finally in a rich environment with money and wealth and time to spare? How do you react? You can't know yourself until you're in the situation. Yeah, you can journal, you can think, you can have these values in place. But to keep these values in place, you have to actually be there. If you're like, man, I'll never cheat on my spouse, put yourself in a situation where you can. There's a pretty girl trying to fuck on you, and you're like, no, fuck you, bitch. I'm not cheating on my spouse. Then you know, okay, this value is real. It's something that I have. And now this is part of my character. I know this part of myself. let's keep going. Like, I'm really thinking, when I'm saying this, I'm thinking about like Navy SEAL fucking training through Hell Week, when they really fucking break you, and then you really see, oh, how tough are you? How willing are you to go to suffer and to get past the suffering? That's kind of where I see the object of one's character, is not when you're safe and secluded, sitting on a couch, ooh, warm temperatures. Oh God, I hate AC. My AC broke, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, no. You don't know yourself back then. You know yourself when you're in a fucking field, when there's blood and guts and mud all over you, and you don't even think your dick fucking work, and you got like swamp foot or some shit. Like, that's that's when you know yourself, when you're in these high stressful moments. Like, you're, even if things in a business oriented aspect, oh my God, this guy's beautiful today. Business oriented aspect. You don't know if your business can survive. You don't know if you're willing to make it survive and how far you're willing to go until you've gone through these periods where, like, holy fuck, this is difficult. Maybe there's something going on in the economy. Maybe just the startup itself is hard, and you keep getting hit with setbacks. And you learn, okay, how far am I willing to go to make my dream work? A lot of dreams die in suffering. A lot of dreams die in suffering. It's easy to sit in your bed and be like, man, I'm gonna change the world one day. And I fully believe you fucking can. But you gotta be able to suffer through it. Otherwise, it's gonna die in suffering. You can't let your dream die. You can't let that shit die. You gotta see the fuck through it. If you really wanna know yourself, you gotta see the fuck through it. You just gotta. You can't quit when it's like 80% there. You gotta quit when you're fucking done. You can't know yourself when you're sitting on a couch. You gotta get up and work hard as fucking something. That's how you know yourself, and that's how you make your dreams come true. I fully believe, at least right now, that knowledge of myself, this could be for you too, can be done through these things. It can. Because right now, it's my main fucking purpose in life. It's like, oh, I gotta make this shit happen. And then later than that, I don't know. Later on, I don't know what's happening later on. But I know right now, I want to see what kind of character I am. Can I make these shits come true? Can I make that come true? I made myself from a skinny twerp into like a mentally much fucking stronger individual, much stronger, way fucking stronger individual. I don't think that scratches the surface. Excuse my ego. I also made myself really fucking jacked. Like, I had a crazy transformation. I wanted to brag, but I had this dream about myself. I opened up my yearbook my sophomore year, and I really started taking this shit seriously. I saw on the back, there were areas for like the funniest guy in school, greatest outfits, and there's one that said the greatest transformation. And there was some like small Indian kid. And I'm like, I'm gonna be there my senior year. I'm gonna be there my senior year. I think I'll have the greatest transformation from freshman year to senior year. And I think that's kind of true. To be fair, I don't know anybody, so I can't lobby my way into that fucking yearbook. Who gives a fuck? I think that's true. Who gives a fuck? I think that's, and that shit motivated me for a while, actually. And I kind of found out myself like, hey, I'm really bad. I think I can really change my body and change my life. And I did. 2 years in, and I fucking did. Now, there's other aspects I gotta change, and that's gonna be true for you. These layers are gonna peel off. When you start on self-improvement, all you really wanna do is get jacked. And all you're gonna really wanna do is meditate. And all you're really gonna wanna do is get rich. Then after that, once you're rich and you have all that stuff, you're like, okay, what's next? Well, now I want to travel. Shit, now I want to get a wife. Now I want to settle in. I really want to know myself. Now I want to become a Navy SEAL. All this shit's happen. Self-knowledge, I do think is possible to learn. Now, I don't think you can necessarily chase it. Usually when you chase something, it doesn't really come out at you. It doesn't really come for you. But by chasing these layers, I do think you reveal who you are, your inner self, what your purpose is in life. And your purpose is really in life is what you fucking mean to give it. Sorry, let me see the quote. The meaning of life is the value you attribute to it. So if the meaning in your life is to eat 15 hot dogs a fucking day, congratulations. That's easy. But whatever you give into life is usually the meaning. That's like something Viktor Frankl said. He's a great fucking guy, philosopher, Holocaust survivor. I wrote his book. It's fucking awesome. I don't know, man. Just a quick little rant. Hopefully this kind of inspired you guys. Made your gearbox is thinking. Think about this video here. Peace.